What then is the cause of conflict? Why does one suffer? Why does one have to struggle ceaselessly? To me, conflict is the impeded flow of spontaneous action, of harmonious thought and feeling. When thought and emotion are inharmonious, there is conflict in action. That is, when mind and heart are in a state of discord, they create an impediment to the expression of harmonious action and hence conflict. Such impediment to harmonious action is caused by the desire to escape, by the continual avoidance of facing life wholly, by meeting life always with the weight of tradition, be it religious, political, or social. This incapacity to face experience in its completeness creates conflict and the desire to escape from it. If you consider your thoughts and the acts springing from them, you will see that where there is the desire to escape, there must be the search for security, because you find conflict in life with all its actions, its affections, its thoughts. You want to escape from that conflict to a satisfactory security, to a permanency. So your whole action is based on this desire for security. But actually, there is no security in life, neither physical nor intellectual, neither emotional nor spiritual. If you feel you are secure, you can never find that living reality. Yet, most of you are seeking security. Some of you are seeking physical security through wealth, comfort, and the power over others that wealth gives you. You are interested in social differences and social privileges that assure you of a position from which you derive satisfaction. Physical security is a crude form of security, but since it has been impossible for the majority of mankind to attain that security, man has turned to the subtle form of security which he calls spiritual or religious. Because of the desire to escape from conflict, you seek and establish security, physical or spiritual. The longing for physical security shows itself in the desire to have a substantial bank account, a good position, the desire to be considered somebody in the town, the striving for degrees and titles, and all such meaningless stupidities. Then some of you become dissatisfied with physical security and turn to security of a more subtle form. It is security still, but merely a little less obvious, and you call it spiritual. But I see no real difference between the two. When you are satiated with physical security, or when you cannot attain it, you turn to what you call spiritual security. And when you turn to that, You establish and vitalize those things which you call religion and organized spiritual beliefs. Because you seek security, you establish a form of religion, a system of philosophical thought in which you are caught, to which you become a slave. Therefore, from my point of view, religions with all their intermediaries, their ceremonies, their priests, destroy creative understanding and pervert judgment. One form of religious security is the belief in reincarnation, the belief in future lives, with all that belief implies. I say that when a man is caught up in any belief, he cannot know the fullness of life. A man who lives fully is acting from that source in which there is no reaction but only action. But the man who is seeking security, escape, must hold to a belief, because from that he derives continual support and encouragement for his lack of comprehension. Then there is the security created by man in the idea of God. Many people ask me whether I believe in God, whether there is a God. You cannot discuss it. Most of our conceptions of God, of reality, of truth are merely speculative imitations. Therefore, they are utterly false. And all our religions are based on such falsities. A man who has lived all his life in a prison can only speculate about freedom. A man who has never experienced the ecstasy of freedom cannot know freedom. So it is of little avail to discuss God, truth. But if you have the intelligence, the intensity to destroy the barriers around you, then you will know for yourself the fulfillment of life. You will then no longer be a slave in a social or religious system. Again, there is the security through service. That is, you like to lose yourself in the bog of activity, in work. Through this activity, this security, you seek to escape from facing your own incessant struggles. So, security is but escape. And since most people are trying to escape, they have made themselves into machines of habit in order to avoid conflict. They create religious beliefs, ideas. They worship the image of an imitation which they call God. They try to forget their inability to face the struggle by losing themselves in work. All these are ways of escape.